Welcome everybody to Monday night's empowerment session, where you get the opportunity to learn more through education to take charge of your health. So tonight we're going to be talking about Infatuate and the power of plant fats. This is such an exciting product, and especially for someone like myself who has such a difficult time with breaking down fats, this is exciting to me. So we're going to jump right in here and take it from here. Let's see here. We're going to listen to Miss Micah and see what she has to say.
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how I've been using Infatuate, some of the improvements that I've seen, and what I've learned along the way. So about 3 weeks ago, I was talking to Valerie. I wasn't necessarily feeling great. I didn't feel like some of the vitamins that I was taking, most of the vitamins I take is Soul Natural products, that my body was absorbing. So obviously she started talking to me about Infatuate and telling me that when you don't have good fats, your body actually does not absorb vitamins that you're taking. Yes, listen to that again. If you don't have enough good fats in your body will not absorb the other vitamins that you've been purchasing and taking. And so about 3 weeks ago, I started a regimen. I throw 1 scoop. I know it says 2, but at this time, my body is adjusting. So I throw 1 scoop in to my Soul Complete shake. And I have noticed my skin has improved, my mood has improved, my hair has improved. If I had any lingering PMS symptoms, that has improved. Actually, my menstrual cycle has been shortened. I noticed that with this last one. So, you guys, if you think at all that you are not absorbing your vitamins and minerals that you are taking, you're probably deficient in good fats. Most people are. And you've got to get the Infatuate. You've got to start a regimen. Towards the end of this video, I just wanted to throw out my favorite recipe so far. So what I do is I freeze 1 banana. I throw it in my little smoothie cup. I do 1 scoop of Infatuate, 2 scoops of the Soul Complete chocolate. And I kind of fill my smoothie cup up with some vanilla almond milk. And I blend it, and it's almost like an ice cream, and it's so good for breakfast. I crave it. So I hope you guys enjoy my recipe and have a great meeting. Bye.
So Micah so totally cracked me up. I wish I could figure out a way to share the Marco Polo she sent me, because I got to witness her tasting the Infatuate for the first time. And at that point, she mixed it in her Vitamin Excel, I believe is what it was. And she took a swallow and she was like, oh my goodness, that tastes amazing. And then a couple, 15, 20 minutes later, she sends me another Marco Polo. She's like, that's like craveable. Oh my goodness. I'll be honest, I didn't want to like it, but I really, really like it. And then she messages me again later the day, and she's like, it's crazy how calm I feel. It's just like, just rolling with the punches. And so I love that she has allowed me to be witness to her journey as it's been happening. And she has, she actually didn't share this. She's actually even lost some weight adding this into her diet. And I'm sure it's because of inflammation that she's dropped, but just very excited for that. So what she's talking about here, what I was talking to her about, had to do with, I felt was not being able to utilize any of her fat soluble vitamins. I've known for a long time that she had challenges with breaking down fats. I've known her, Miss Micah, for over 10 years. And so based on those things is what made me suggest to her about using the Infatuate. And I found this chart, and I thought this was just fantastic because it had to do with science for fat-soluble vitamin deficiencies. So I'm bringing this up because our Infatuate is so easy to digest that once you get that in your system, and knowing that we're getting good sourced healthy plant fats, that you're going to be able to utilize these vitamins better as they show up in your diet. So vitamin A is very well known for how it works with night blindness. There's one of these up here talks about being squinting, even having to do with squinting and how it affects that. Dryness in the eyes. I know that I have been doing so much more computer work, and I'd started bumping up my Infatuate, that along with my Excel, and I did a couple loading doses over the weekend, and all my eye issues disappeared. Absolutely. My eye was even aching, especially my right eye is totally gone. So we're also looking at vitamin D. Most people know that vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, so it's going to help working with your bone structure. They talk about this rachitic rosary, which why I don't know they don't just put rickets on there. I don't know. We're talking about things like the bones not forming correctly. We're talking about muscles not being able to relax. We're talking about organs not forming correctly all the way. That's where it's talking about bringing in the vitamin D. Vitamin E, we're talking about all kinds of different things, again, working with neuropathy, the heart being able to see easily. The last one really got my attention. And I'm watching too because I had some really hardcore pushing kind of days. And I thought it was just because I was low in vitamin C, but I started dealing with some nosebleeds again. And that epistaxis just literally means a nosebleed for no reason. And that's the way it would be for me. And I had bumped up, like I said, the Infatuate. And you're going to find too with one of the other elements that's in the Infatuate also supports vitamin C and your flavonoids, and that issue's disappeared. I also run into a lot of women that have the really heavy menstrual issues. And so the fact that maybe adding in the Infatuate to help challenge that with how it would work with your vitamin K, I am very excited to see how that works for a lot of my women. This is an important thing to bring awareness to as well. I have got so many people at this point talking about how much more healthy their skin is, that even though I shared this slide in the convention presentation, I felt it was important to share this slide again. Dried, flaky, peeling, cracking skin is no fun for anybody. And it really does look and feel like this lake bed does up here. It is indicative of multiple things, but so many times we see people whose diet, either they have the wrong types of fats because maybe they're getting their fats from fast food, or they're using improper type oils to cook with, or they're using so many of the animal fats that that's overwhelming too, and we need to get that good balance with the plant fats in. But a lot of people honestly don't know how or where to get a good plant fat, or maybe they don't use things in a timely enough fashion. Well, Infatuate makes that process so much more simple. It's so easy. You've got it right there in your cupboard. You can grab it and use it. And of course, when we have healthier skin, we are going to have a shorter wound healing time. So when the fats are low, we will see longer wound healing time. This is another great story that I wanted to share with you.
Hi, I have been using Infatuate since it came out, and I absolutely love it. It's a great way to get healthy fats in my diet. And as Valerie, I'm sure, is going to talk about, just so many great benefits from getting those fats, just with brain health, memory issues, skin issues. It helps just with the hunger, stabilizing that. But one of the ways that I found to use it is to make protein balls, or power balls, as I say. And I think she's going to post the recipe, so you should really try them because they're really good. But it's a great way just to get that extra fat in your diet in a nice little snack too. My 16-year-old granddaughter loves them. So she has been eating them and actually just asks for them all the time. So great thing because it's really boosting that brain health and just health in general for her. So I'm excited about that. They kind of taste like almost like a banana bread, and it's just yummy. So I would encourage you to try the Infatuate and make the power balls. They're awesome.
So we got the opportunity a week or two ago, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, we were over at her house and had some of those that she had put together. They're fantastic. And what I love about this recipe that she has put here is with Infatuate, we're getting the good fats. So like she said, it's going to help satiate hunger. Well, it also helps to balance blood sugar. Well, what else do we have in there that helps to balance blood sugar? Well, we've got the complete protein, which we know is a very easy to assimilate protein that will help balance, but also the cinnamate. So we have got a phenomenal combination here. Yet she's also, the way this is blended and put together, it's very gut healing as well. And it also becomes a nice, healthy snack that you can keep ready-made and in your refrigerator to reach or grab for and help yourself make better choices as opposed to reaching for something and then regretting it later. So amla is one of the ingredients that is in the Infatuate that I want to talk more about. And if you see the pictures there, it looks like some of you might be familiar with the berry. And I grew up in the Ozarks and we were very familiar with gooseberries. Well, this has another name. Nickname is the Indian gooseberry. Well, amla is pretty cool. And if you look at it, it is, and this is the one I was talking about with vitamin C, it is one of the most nutrient-dense medicinal fruits in the entire world, guys. This is so amazing, and this is in our Infatuate. It also has got the it itself is high in vitamin C, the flavonoids, vitamin E and B complex, and the carotenoids. So think about the fact that we have this in our Infatuate. Think about how, for instance, vitamin E is a fat-soluble vitamin, so it's already tied in there to help us get these additional benefits. Amla also accelerates repair and regeneration of connective tissues. So that is amazing when you think about getting in and supporting our joint health. It also helps with interferon production and adrenal gland function. For instance, today I have been doing nothing but busting out research, putting together programs, having to learn a whole new crazy thing that's happening on Facebook for a whole class I put together that now it seems to be going rogue on me. But you know what I did? All I did was sit down and have myself another cinnamate with some Infatuate in it. And I threw in a Renew because here it is in the evening and everything is balanced out. But I also had an additional Infatuate in the middle of the day. And so this has given me the 4 scoops throughout the day. And my brain has been functioning at top level and for all the work that I need to knock out. And this is pretty exciting for me. It also helps to increase lean body mass. So this is something that we want whenever we're working with, also with a product that can also help to work with getting those good fats in, because I've always taught that by adding good fat into your diet, it can help with weight balancing. It also, amla is known for promoting immune function and fighting infection. And by the way, guys, these are all from documented research. It is recognized as a very powerful antioxidant and antitoxin. In fact, there was amazing information when it came to working with the side effects of someone when they're taking chemotherapy. I have always utilized ProBioIQ and the Complete when someone was taking chemotherapy. Now the Infatuate is something that I'm going to talk to people about adding in as well, because the research when it comes to amla with that is just very, very impressive. Amla also reduces elevated cholesterol, helps your LDL oxidation, but with all these antioxidant properties, which you're going to learn more about here in a minute, it is no surprise. Plus, I've always taught you give good fat to someone, the proper fats, and it will help to balance out your cholesterol. It also is going to help enhance your memory, and it's going to be neuroprotective. Otherwise, it's going to protect and help challenge things like maybe neuropathy. It's going to work up in the brain and helping to reduce inflammation as well. Look at this ORAC value, guys. 1,770. That is twice that of acai and about 17 times that of pomegranate. This is in our Infatuate. This is incredible. It's so amazing and so exciting. So why are the right fats so crucial? And why do we want to make certain that we're taking these on a daily basis? Things like providing energy, like I said, I've been up and running since 5 o'clock this morning, and I haven't missed a beat. There was been one or two times that even myself with my past adrenal issues history, it's kind of like, wow, this is a lot, push a little, but then it just balanced right out. Bright fats are very important for cell membrane and nerve sheaths. It helps, again, talking about the fat-soluble vitamins. It's important for brain development. This is going to be something I'm going to look at as very important for my pregnant women, especially the final trimester. It's going to impact that brain development for the babies. Also, it's going to help provide building blocks for your hormones. That also tells me that it's something I would be considering if I had someone that was looking to me with fertility concerns. It plays a major role in the immune system response. We talked about how it helps to lower inflammation, helps you to feel full and satiated. And now at this point, I've asked Greg to share a little bit of information here on some stories that he's heard regarding Infatuate. And so I kind of titled this Once Upon a Time. So I've got a couple of those soul stories. So Greg, I would love it if you would join us and share what you have to say.
My pleasure, Valerie. Thanks for the invitation. I was just, you got me thinking about Amla too. And I was noticing, the name it's an Ayurvedic, well, used a lot in Ayurvedic herbology, and the name in Sanskrit means the sustainer. And just listening to everything you taught about what's inside it, I think we can see why. It's definitely very fortified. Well, I'm excited to tell you just two things about Infatuate. Instead of talking about ingredients this time, I'm talking about, well, two experiences. And I loved listening to what you had so far. In fact, I took a picture, Tammy, of that recipe. We're going to make the power balls. One of my daughters loves to make stuff like that, and I know she'll do it. So I'll see if I can talk her into, it's Avery, see if I can talk her into making it, because I'd probably mess it up somehow. But I can eat them. I'm good at that. So the Infatuate, one of our great soul leaders has really been going through a tough time. If you know Lois Triplett, and she shared some things with me. I mean, extremely difficult in terms of abnormal cells at a pretty severe level, and things she'd been dealing with for a long time. And she got to a point at the worst of what she was going through where she dropped down to like 90 pounds, she was telling me. And she craved a couple of things in that process. A couple of soul products were particularly, she was telling me that I'm not sure, but I think there had to be some, wait, Valerie, you maybe have talked with her. And I'm trying not to share the personal. I'll let her share that. But I can't remember if she ended up doing some radiation, which she normally wouldn't. But in this case, I can't remember. But she craved throughout that process Soul Vital. And the second thing that she mentioned to me was Infatuate. She said, you know what, Greg, I don't think the period of time was very long, not more than a month, maybe a little more than that. She gained 10 pounds back. She was not able to gain weight because of the severity of where her situation is. It involves digestion, absorption, elimination. Just not able to gain any weight until she added Infatuate. And that has just been, all she said to me was, she hasn't even told me all the detail yet. She said, that's just been a lifesaver. That Infatuate has been, she's just craved it. She's loved it. And she could no problem digest it, which is interesting because, a lot of us, I was listening to Micah, right? Was it? We have to get used to it. It's so pure and it's loaded with good fats. Our bodies aren't used to it, and you have to kind of build up a lot of people. I don't know if everyone's that way, Valerie, that you've helped, but pretty typical. People have to kind of build up how much they take. But that was my first story, is that if there are issues with being able to gain and put on and have a healthy weight, because we have disbalance in weight, imbalance on either side, right? And the body looks for that weight that's good for us, and that's different for every person. I know Infatuate really can make a huge difference. She's not the only one that's told me that. I've heard from 2 or 3 people specifically that helped them, people that were severely struggling with both the mental side of, there are different names for it, right? Where people can't eat, or any kind of an eating disorder, the whole mental side of that, or if it's not stemming from that, but it's stemming from something else and they just can't put on weight. I've heard several stories, I want to say 3 or 4 in the last few months, of people being able to add more than 10 pounds and just be so happy that they're on the climb back into a healthy weight. And the other story that I had was another good leader of ours. I think Valerie knows Marcella Endrick. And Marcella would, because of the ringer that they're had some things as well, that the life does that, right? It puts us through the ringer every so often. So I'm just going to call it the ringer. If you heard all the things they had to go through. And you know, you're home where you're dealing with things, and she had put on, she teaches Zumba and has done things on the side where she noticed, she goes, you know, I just noticed being strictly at home, I was putting on weight. She goes, I wanted to change everything. And she looked over at Infatuate. She hadn't really worked it into her regimen. So she did. She's like so many of you, she'll take a note and look at what she's doing and what she changed so that she can share it and learn from it. And I can't remember, don't quote me exactly, but we're getting close to 20 pounds. And I want to say in something like 3 months. It was not a long, you would say fairly rapid, you know, maybe rapid than more than is typical. But just working in a really good regimen of Infatuate. I think she was doing the full 2 scoops. And it was one of the meals in the day. I think she was blending it with some others, like so many, with some Soul Complete. But that was what she changed. The thing she changed was at bringing Infatuate in. And she saw this wonderful weight change. And honestly, I can't remember. She mentioned some other changes she noticed too. We always do. But those were 2 stories on either side of weight imbalance. I feel like those are a really big deal because they are just indicators of other things that are even more important than the weight. But it sure is nice to be able to know, okay, here's something we can turn to.
Thank you, Greg. That was perfect. And that's exactly the way I teach it, weight balancing. Whenever people would come to me for weight loss, I tell them, no, we're going to support your body so that it balances out to what is ideal for you, whether it's weight loss, weight gain, or maintaining. So thank you. That was great. So when we talk about supporting that foundation, you guys have heard me teach about the Bella Health Package. Well, Infatuate is a perfect fit for that. Whether you're throwing it in with a smoothie or doing it like I do, mixing it with the Cinnamate, you can see why we're supporting the gut, which the Bella Health Package is designed to support and uplift digestive health. The Cinnamate is working with the liver, it's working with blood sugar, it's the whole digestive tract, and there's so many components. It really doesn't do it justice to try and simplify it. The Vital, where we're coming in with pH balance, we're helping support the kidneys for moving things out of the body. We're helping to clean the blood. It's loaded with the 6 adaptogens are helping the body to deal with stress and mood swings, and it's supporting at a glandular level. We've got the ProBio IQ, which is our smart probiotic. It's already helping to support the mood outlook and the digestive tract and the immune system, all right there in the gut, while helping the corresponding areas with the brain for communication to work with memory and sharpness and focus as well. The Vertizyme's coming in, working on breaking down and moving out the toxins. Well, imagine combining that with the Infatuate. If it is so easy to digest that we can have someone in a failure to thrive type situation, can you not see how when we throw that in there with a package designed to support your foundation and working at the roots, like we talk about supporting the roots of the tree so that we have the ideal tree development up above, you can see why this is such an absolutely beautiful combination and why they work so well together. So Infatuate, and again, I love the different ways that we can utilize it. We're learning more and more every day as to how people are benefiting and the different ways that they're testing it out. Infatuate and the Bella Health Package, perfect combination. So you guys have heard me talk so much about listen to your body. This is one of the things that I talk to people about all the time. Listen to your body. Micah was talking about it. She had started out with the 2 scoops, was really craving it, and realized very quickly that she wanted to go to the 1 and gradually build up. I've got some people that started a 1/4 scoop. I started with the 2 scoops. And then today I listened to my body. I heard what it needed, and I've done 4 scoops. I thought this quote from Don Miguel Ruiz from the 4 Agreements was outstanding and actually hit it spot on. It says, go inside and listen to your body, because your body will never lie to you. Your mind will play tricks, but the way you feel in your heart, in your guts, is the truth. So I picked this picture because to me, when people are listening inside and they're hearing what their true north is, and they listen and they follow, they're not guided incorrectly. Often when I'm talking with someone, I can tell them, I said, well, here's the suggestions, here's what I would do, but I want to hear how their body's responding. I want to hear what they have to say, what they think, because ultimately their body is the one that knows what's going on. Mine is, I only have the authority to interact and know what's going on with my body. So what their body's saying and how it's reacting, what they think always trumps. So I listen to that. So I really, really encourage you to listen to your body and trust that it's giving you the true north. So next week on Monday night, we'll be talking about the Avant Greens and the power of sprouts. I first had it as the power of greens, and I thought that was kind of saying the same thing twice there. But anyhow, again, another topic that's got so much information. It is so hard to fine tune and just pick one aspect that we're going to be talking about. But the neat thing is there's enough information in classes that can be taught that would last for years just on the products that we have right now and all the variations. And I hope that you guys always feel that you're continuing to learn here. So with that, that ends tonight's session. So if anyone needs to go, but other than that, I've got about 10 minutes. I would love to sit around and chat or answer any questions, get caught up on what's happened in the chat down here in case I missed anything of interest. But I feel like I could still teach another 10 or 20 classes on Infatuate and still barely scratch the surface. Rachel.
Okay. Oop. I'll wait.
Sorry.
All right.
I always have a question. So did I hear you correctly? You said you have 4 scoops a day, or was that just today? And how do you know when you need more? I mean,
just today I did. I do know that it has on the package that basically a loading or infatuated dose. I forget how Greg has that worded, but is 2 scoops twice a day. Most people, I believe, are doing 2 scoops a day, and I normally only do 2 scoops in the morning. But today was such a brain-filled, like I said, writing, creating from 5 until, there'll still be a little bit more this evening once I get finished, and yet my brain was still being able to go. And I still am doing Solmegas. I was doing 4 Solmegas a day. Now I'm actually, now I'm doing 3, and because the plant fats really seem to be, from the Infatuate, really seem to be filling a void that I needed as well. So that's where my body's going right now. And for me, Rachel, the way I know is how I think. If I am creating brand new words out of thin air, or if I'm laying down to sleep at night and my brain is running the list of everything I already did today all over again. So I hope that answers
so it'll
that.
make me smart like you. If I take 4 a day, it'll make me smart like Valerie.
You know, like I said, I've been doing this for, months, and that's the first time that my brain has let me know that I needed that.
And hey, Val, you made me think of a couple things if you don't mind,
Go for it.
that I could jump in with Rachel too. Well, because you mentioned the infatuated dose. I wanted to explain why we had that on there. And also the omegas. I noticed Tammy chatted in, what about, omegas? And you kind of answered that. Just to clarify from the formulation point of view and from the company's manufacturing point of view, the omegas are focusing on omegas, not just omega-3, but a spectrum, as you know, but on omegas. Whereas the Infatuate is a whole gamut of healthy fats, not just omegas. It does have omegas in it. So it's not surprising that Valerie's like ratcheted down a little, because it's not, I wouldn't call it an ultra high omega. It's not meant to be, but it's a good, these are quality natural ingredients. So they do have the good natural amount of omegas, including omega-3s in the Infatuate. So that, I think that explains it perfectly. About Valerie's example kind of gives you, if you're using omegas daily and you add Infatuates, you might find you're using one less a day of the omegas, but they're not mutually exclusive. And I know people who they haven't reduced their omega, maybe they're doing 1 or 2 a day. They just stay with that. Because remember, there's a bunch of there's a full spectrum plant protein in Infatuate. Believe it or not, there's balance there. You have this whole group of plants that nourish the digestion, absorption of fats. I mean, Valerie referenced that. It's not just giving you good fats, it's also improving how we absorb them. And honestly, that all needs work. And that brings me to the other point I was going to add. Why did we do the Infatuated dose? 2 reasons. One is, I've heard from more and more people, Valerie included, talking about fatty liver and how now it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's unrelated to alcohol. And people, we kind of write it off our list because we just think it's related to alcohol use. And why does it keep growing at a kind of an alarming rate? And so part of the reason for including the Infatuate was that very issue that we see that is still getting worse. If a person, when you're ready, because I like Valerie's counsel, listen to the body, start lower and build up. But when you're ready, it's a really interesting thing for everyone to do. I look at it this way, Val, help me out here. I kind of look at it like, I might look at 2 different things, but the same principle. Frequently, I'm doing maybe a cleanse or a detox where I'm ramping up the amount of detoxing things for a period of time because I want to get a little deeper and I want to fix and move ahead in a way I can't if I never go through that. I kind of think with the fats, from what we're seeing from people, you have the same principle applying with the Infatuated dose. So it's not meant to be, you do that all the time. But it's meant to be, that's a level where you'll find some things out about yourself and maybe make some really neat moves forward in health. And when we talk health, we're always talking emotional and mental and also physical, where we move for a period of time. Valerie could tell you what maybe is a good length of time, where I'm going to get myself up to that and stay at that Infatuated dose for a period of time, and then I'm going to go back down. And then I'm just listening to the body every day. So I look at, what do you think about that, Valerie? That's how kind of we look at it. People also get into the sort of weight loss and keto diet, and that's a second reason for the Infatuated. If they're trying to do something more significant there and really make some change, that's another reason they need to go and do more with their fat replacement. Because we know this, when the body starts getting good fats, the liver will start to kick out the bad ones. Val, I'm interested in your comments and all that. Those were our reasons for it.
Yeah, that's spot on. And what I call it is a loading dose or a therapeutic dose. And I'm actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because I'm personally working on creating a protocol to see how Soul can support detoxing vaccines, because most of you know that I had a vaccine injury when I was in my early 20s. And between combining the Infatuate and using the neuro and a couple things, because higher fats will allow the body to move out those toxins. But I've been building and shifting up to it, and I think I've got it figured out. So I'm always my own guinea pig. So you all will be definitely hearing about it before I ever offer or suggest a protocol to anybody. But it's that very principle. By building up those fats, it does, just like anything, I call it a loading dose. I build it up so the body can have the foundation it needs to actually heal and have the support it needs in a safe way.
Awesome.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am. We've been waiting with a bated breath.
Okay, I have a friend. She's not a client yet. She has multiple autoimmune diseases. The worst one she got because of a vaccine. because she already had the others and then took the flu vaccine, and then it just gave her a horrible one. But she has cystic fibrosis, which I believe does not process fats. So that's one of the things one of the side effects, if I'm not mistaken. So is Infatuate something that would help her with that, or it won't make a difference because her body doesn't do it already?
So if I heard you correctly, you're saying one of the autoimmune conditions that was as a result of the vaccine injury was the cystic fibrosis?
No, cystic fibrosis she had already. She
Okay.
ended up, but she took a flu shot because they made her, because
Got it.
they said she had this other. And
Okay,
then she
so
got CIPD after that.
yep. So one of the big side effects from vaccine injuries affects the gut, big time with digestion. So I would have to double check on that with her having been born with that. But I know without a doubt that the vaccine would have caused that issue to get worse because of where it targeted things. So that one I couldn't answer without doing some research on.
But with the cystic fibrosis, I think that's the one that affects fat.
Right. And
And
so
would this help with that?
that's what I'm saying. I'm not certain if we have being born with that issue and then having the vaccine injury on top of it, which will target digestive issues.
Okay.
If it probably is something where you would start with like a sprinkle a day is what I'm going to say, because that's generally what I do. And it might take a year to gradually build up, but listening to the body, a sprinkle a day, I would not think would cause any issues. We want this because the body still needs it. And it's even going to be more depleted state because of the condition. It can't get it. But so far as I would not jump in, with a full dose or anything, I would start with minimal dose. So it could take her 2 years to go through a bag. But I've had people do that. I had a lady that had come to me with heavy metal poisoning about 7 or 8 years ago. And we started her with 1/8 of a packet of Vital once a week. And I think Greg probably remembers when we were in Dallas, and Tammy, you might remember that too. I did a presentation where I was showing the heavy metals. We took them out through the leg. That was that woman. She's in her 80s, and that was incredible. But we gradually built her up, and now she does a full Vital every day. But we had to start with 1/8 of a packet a week.
Wow. Okay, I'll keep that in mind because I've been trying to get her on Salt. But I have one more question about the Vertizymes.
Yes,
My
ma'am.
understanding was when we came out with Infatuate that you needed both together. And is that not necessarily the case? I mean, I would take them together anyway, just because, but like if I'm starting someone out, do I want to make sure that they're purchasing both together and taking them together?
In my opinion, everyone needs help with their digestive tract. I do both the Vertizymes and the Cinemate every day, and most people are familiar with my challenges with breaking down fat. And once you pass, I think it's the age of 16, up until 16, maybe it's 18, your enzymes in your stomach are strong enough to strip the paint off of a car. And after that, they gradually get weaker. And so here I am in my 50s, they're definitely not strong enough to take the paint off of a car. And so we're going to want, help breaking it down. So I think it's wise to support the digestive tract to get the full benefit, even though these plant fats are much easier to assimilate.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to add that I had a new person try Infatuate, and it made her feel sick. And I said, "Do you have any Vertizymes?" And she said yes. And I said, "Take that." And then within the hour or whatever it was, I can't remember. She's like, "Wow, I feel better." So it makes a difference for some people that already have those digestive problems. Anyway, thanks for letting me share.
Yeah, and if we think about one of the symptoms of having an overwhelmed gallbladder can be nauseousness, and the gallbladder's responsible for processing these fats. Even if they're easy to assimilate, it still has to go through that, that process to get there. Even missing the gallbladder, then it's going to be challenged with the liver. And so when you can't break them down, it can cause that nauseousness. So getting that added help, and probably what I suspect is over time, that sluggish gallbladder will start to clean out to where it's working more efficiently, which is ultimately our goal.
And Valerie, I just was going to add something to Tammy's question about her friend, but you made me think of something.